Why is Windows not able to create a system partition? I'm reinstalling Windows 7 64-bit, and I encountered an issue I've never seen before. I have a legit copy of Win 64 Professional, and I've installed it probably a half dozen times on this machine in the past without a problem. Googling the error only brings me to issues with people who are upgrading to Win 7. The drive itself seems to not have a problem. I can mount it on other systems and I can create an NTFS partition on it on other machines. I can install Ubuntu on it without any issues. Additionally, if I try using my alternate backup hard drive, the installer gives the same error. I have run diskpart from the setup page and Clean seems to report that all is well. However, I cannot get past the screen below, which says, Setup was unable to create a new system partition or locate an existing system partition. This happens regardless of whether or not the disk space is already allocated. What is causing this? How do I solve or get past this? Edit. 1 week later. I'm at my wit's end with this. I have tried installing Windows on 4 different hard drives, using 2 completely different motherboards. I even borrowed a copy of Windows 7 Ultimate, as well as my legit Win 7 Pro disk. I have tried with no existing partitions, and with existing, and fully functional, NTFS partitions. I've tried installing off of USB and DVD. Every time I get to the screen shown above I get the same result.
I got it to work. What I did: remove all USB devices except the keyboard. Set the boot order in the BIOS so that the HDD is first. Disconnect the network. Use a DVD, not USB, for installation. I had tried each of these things individually and in different combinations. I'm not sure why it suddenly worked now, but Windows Setup was suddenly able to create a partition.
Checked your BIOS settings lately. Sometimes there is a section in your BIOS regarding something like boot sector virus protection. And it's usually a good idea to leave this setting enabled for normal use too. But you probably want to disable it when installing a new Windows operating system. FYI, other file systems like those used with Linux aren't usually even looked at by a BIOS. In fact, if you even have this BIOS feature, then it will almost exclusively look for NTFS or FAT file system only, and make sure it isn't messed with. That would explain why you can establish nearly any other file system and why you can't create a new Windows NTFS file system.
Do you have MBR or GPT? Since you have less than 2.2 TB drive, you can safely use old MBR and installer will more likely cooperate with you. Shift plus F10 will open command prompt. Use diskpart to convert to MBR. Also, drivers to storage controller on pen drive is good option. Load driver.
Use a Linux live CD that has parted magic, and make sure all partitions are removed. Make sure any hidden partitions are gone. Cleaning should have done it though.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.